So today's video is probably going to be a bit messed up. We're going to be doing a lot of different things, starting off with I want to add some sound into the game, or some more sound effects into the game for when we pick up a coin. And then after that, we need to go and fix a few things, like actually getting our coins to work. So we need to be able to pick them up, because at the moment I think we commented that code up because something wasn't working. So we're going to try and fix that. If we get through that, we will start on a bunch of other things, like trying to fix our box. And then actually, before we do all of that, actually I want to try and get our spider to be able to kill us. So let's jump into it actually. So at the moment we have this enemy over here, which is a spider, and we can walk into it as many times as we want. We do get our health to be reduced, but that's pretty much it. We don't actually do anything for our player, because at the moment, as you can see, look, our coin's not working, and if we go through our spider, you can see our health decreases by half, or in this case 25, and then we do it again. At this point now, we should do something to the player. We should actually kill our player, and then reset it, or just end the game. And as well as doing that, we need to go and play the death animation. So let's try and do that, because I think that'll be a bit fun. So actually, you know what we're going to do before we do that? Let's go and try and get a sound for this. So let's bring this here. This is what are we gonna do? We need to go to, what is it? Well, I forget what that website is called. It is going to be Free Sounds, I guess. Let's try. So you do have to log in, and you do have to have an account for this website, but you can use it. I think you can use the free sounds as long as you don't really publish anything. So just using them in like tutorials and stuff is perfectly fine, I guess. Just make sure you read the licenses attached to the sound. So let's go and see. First of all, let's go and get a collectible sound. Let's see what that sounds like. No, let's go and see. Let's see coin collectible. Don't like. Oh, that one's nice. This one. Let's get this one. I think that's actually might be the one that we used in the previous series that we did on this game. So we've downloaded that, I think. Did we? No. Okay, so now we have it. Let's go and bring it into here. So let's bring this into our sounds folder. So there it is. That's our sounds folder. Okay, so now in our coin class here, so in our coin class, we only really have one thing here, and that is to trigger something as soon as we collide with it. So once we've collided with it with the player, the coin then detects that something's triggered it, and then it should add 1 to our coin count, which it does. So now when it does that, we need to go and play that sound. So let's go do that. So in our coin class, how are we going to do this? We need to somehow access this audio source. So because our coins are in our class, we should be able to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this, add tag. Let's add a audio tag to it. Audio source tag to our audio source, and then we can go and look for it, because sometimes for like our coins that will come out of our crate, they are not going to be in the scene already, so we're going to have to go and look for them already when we go and instantiate them. So we need to get our audio source. Let's type that, audio source. This is going to be audio source. And then let's bring back our start method. And then in here we can go and say audio source is equal to game object dot find object by tag, find object with tag, that's the one. And then we want to have a global dot audio tag. So let's go and make that now. Copy that and then go to our global class. And then in here, it's going to be audio tag is equal to, it needs to be exactly the same as what we had it, which was audio. I think it was audio source. Like that. So that should be fine. Let's save that and then go back to our coin class. Now, let's see, find. Okay, this is going to be, what is it? It's going to be, let's do this. Let's go and say game object, audio source, game object, just to make it more clearer. And then we can go and say audio source. This is going to be our audio source. And then we can go and say audio source is equal to audio source game object dot get component, and then we want to get the audio source off of that, and then hopefully that should be fine. So now we can go, once before we destroyed it, we can go and say audio source dot play one shot, and then this is going to be, what do I do? This is going to be our coin sound. And then we need to go and make that. So this is going to be a audio clip, and this is going to be a serialized field. Actually, is it? Yeah, it is. Serialized, that needs to be in the brackets. Where am I? Serialized field, audio clip, and this is going to be called coin sound. Like that. That should be it. So now let's go and set all of that up in our inspector. So once we've dragged this into, where was it? We're going to have to do this on our prefab in our coin class. So on our coin class, we now have this audio source sound. So we can go to our sounds tab and just drag that straight into there. Hopefully it's the right format, which it is. And now let's test this out and see. Don't know how loud it's going to be, even if it's going to work. Okay, so now you can, I don't know if you can hear it, but it is definitely working. Whenever we go and collect a, what is it called? A coin, we get that coin sound being played. Okay, so while we're on the sound, let's go and look for another sound that we can hopefully use for our, when our enemy attacks our player. Let's try, let's see. Does that work, Spider Bite? Those are very long. I want something that's like a second, like that. Nope, that's not what we want. We want definitely not any of those. Let's see, enemy attack. We might just have to, nope, that's too long. That's 3 seconds, that's 2 minutes, that's 17. What's this one? Those are all terrible. I mean, we could use that, but that doesn't really sound like a spider. That's too long. Not what we want. I'm just going to type spider and see what comes up. So that's 2 seconds. That's too long, too long. All of those are too long. We might just have to use this one. It's not that bad. Let's just use this one for now. Okay, so we'll download that and then we'll bring that straight into our game folder over here. And then it should be the same thing. I'm just going to copy all of this. And then where's our spider? In here. Let's go and paste it in here. What do we need? We have an animator, sprite renderer. Okay, let's place this all over here. This is going to be a spider attack, I guess. spider attack sound, and then what do we need out of this? We need a audio source. Okay, so we're not going to be spawning any enemies into the scene, so we can just go and drag this straight into the game object. So let's do that. Spider on here, we can go and there it is. Where's our audio source? Drag that into there, and then we need to drag our spider attack, which I think it was this one. Let's drag that in there, and then we can go to our script here, and then where's our spider script? On our spider script, when we go and play this, or reduce, what is it called? When we, over here, so once we've reduced our health by 25 points, we can go and say audio source, what is it called? Audio source dot play one shot, and that's going to be the spider attack sound. Let's test that out. Did we save that? Yeah, we did. So now we should have, we do have sound for our coins. We have sound for, depending on if this one works, we should have, we have sound for our attacking with our sword. We also have sound, if this does work, we should have sound for the collision between our spider and our player, which we do. So you can see, well, you can hear that does work. Let's stand here. There you go. So now we need to deal with this part. Once we've reached a health of 0, we need to go and kill off our player and probably just reset the position as well as the health. So let's see, is there any other way of killing off, what am I doing? At the moment, I think we only really have one way of dying, which is colliding with our spider. So we probably only have to deal with it in our spider class for now. Let's see. Actually, we can do it in this class, in our player class. Okay, so let's just test this and see if this is actually working, because I remember we did something that could have destroyed it, or maybe we even just stop using it. So let's test it out quick. So we're going to go to our spider. Let's just make this bigger so we can see. Okay, so that is working. We still get that message saying die. Okay, so let's work on this. So what do we want to do? We don't want to do this. So we're going to say is alive is equal to false. Okay, so now that we've set is alive is equal to false, we can go and do this. Reset, let's say reset the game. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to reset the health back to 0. So where do we have a global health? Yeah, we do, health. So here we can go and say global dot health is going to be set to 50, because I think that's what we start with. What else do we want to do? We want to go and say coin. Actually, this is not going to work though, because what I'm thinking is once we reset the health of the player, actually, you know what, we're not going to reset the game, we're just going to reset the player back to the original position. So it has to start from the beginning. That way it doesn't really have to start the level over again, because if we do that, we're going to have to reset the entire level. So if we go and reset the coin count back to 0, that means we're going to have to reinstantiate all the coins back in their original positions. And then everything that the player has broken, for example, like the crate that we have in the mine area over here, we could just reload the entire level again, which we probably should do, but let's just go and reset the position of the player and the health. And that way, if you collide with enemies that you're not really supposed to, the only consequence that you have is that you will eventually have to reset restart the level from the beginning, but your progress in terms of like collectibles and stuff won't really reset. So we'll keep it like that, nice and simple. So let's do that. So health is going to be set to 0. Now we need to go and set the position back. So what we want to do when we first load up the game is we want to go and create a starting position. So let's see. Let's bring back our start method, because this is going to be useful to record our starting location, so that when we die, we can just go and set it back to what this was. So let's go say private transform position. So private transform starting position. So that here we can go and say that's not the one. Starting position is going to be equal to transform dot position. So that's going to happen. What? Ready? Oh, okay, hold on. Just like that. So that's fine. So that's going to set. Actually, what are we going to do? Let's do this. Actually, let's leave it as transform. So transform. I don't know if this is going to work. Actually, nope. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. This is going to be a vector 3. And then starting position is going to be equal to a, I think we have to go new vector 3, and here we can go transform dot position dot x, same thing, transform dot position dot y, and then last one, transform dot position dot z, just like that. So save that, and then what's next? We've got that. Now let's see, we can go and in our die method here, we can go and say transform. What am I doing? Why can we not access the transform of our player? Why is there something? Am I doing something wrong? Why can't we access the transform of our player? Let's see, start. No, that's a bit strange. Let's go play the game. Maybe that's just not loading properly. Nothing is really going to happen on the screen. So let's just make sure that this is still working. Okay, so let's just go up to our start method here and say print the starting position, and then let's see what that is. So that should print out our starting position, which should be -30, -1 and 0. Okay, so it's roughly correct. So they've just rounded it off. So let's see, now we've got that sorted, we should be able to access this, but why is that not working? Let's see, rigid body. Actually, let's just do it. Transform dot position is going to be equal to the, that should be a small t transform. Okay, so it is working. Transform dot position. No, it's not. Let's try here. Transform. Okay, maybe it's got something to do with our static method. Let's do this. Let's try something like this. Let's create another method called private void reset player position, and then in here we can go transform. There we go. Transform dot position is going to be equal to the starting position, like that. And then here we can go and say let's see, what does it say? An object reference is required for a non-static field method or property player. Okay, that's a bit strange. We shouldn't have to, that's just weird though. I've never come across this problem before. So we should just be able to do that and reset the what do we have to go player dot transform? Player dot an object reference is required for a non-static field. Okay, let me just Google this quick because this is strange. An object reference is required for non-static field. Udity. Let's see, what are we doing? So I've done so many of these. Where was it? Vector 3, private. So many of these platforming games that never had this problem. Was it player dot that's strange. Let's see, an object reference is required for non-static field component dot transform. Let's go and say game object dot transform. Nope. Let's try that. Game object dot transform. No. If you know how to solve this, please leave a comment down below and I will fix it because I've never had this problem before. This isn't the player class. Why can't we access its own position? That's just weird. We can go and say transform what I'm going to do, let's try and do this way. So here we can go and say transform player, and then we can go and say player dot position is equal to starting position, and let's make this private attic vector 3. Okay, so that should solve all of that. And then in our where were we? This is our spider class. We can go in here and say, now this is not going to work. Oh, actually we can go and say collision dot get component transform. This is probably not the best way to do it, but hopefully that works. So we save that. Yeah, we saved all of that. Let's test it out and see if it works. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to save it, because if you didn't see our previous episode, we lost everything. But I managed to fix it. So let's go and test this out. So we should be able to collide with our spider if we can catch it. So there's one. Now, once we've done it again, it should reset our position. So that's fine. We can still move around. Our coin count is still 3. Our health has gone back to 50, which is great. Okay, so that's fine. We can collide. Okay, so now we can't collide with our spider. So let's go to our spider and see. Here, if the collision and the game and the player is alive. Okay, so currently the player is not alive. So let's go and set it back to equal to false. But let's just go and get rid of that, because there's no point in setting the player to be equal to false and then like straight away setting it equal to alive. So we can get rid of that. And then hopefully, because it doesn't really do anything, because if we go and set it to equal to false and then a few seconds later just go and set it equal to true once we've revived our player, it doesn't really make much sense. So let's try this. So that sound... Okay, so we need to figure that out, because now that we've got our player is not alive anymore, we have some issues. So okay, so that's why. Okay, so I figured that out. So let's go to our scene objects, and we can see on our, where is it? On our crate, let's just go and disable this quick, because that whenever that crate gets destroyed, it automatically adds the coins to our coin count, even though we haven't really collected the coins, because they were all the way down there. So that's something we need to figure out probably in tomorrow's episode. So let's go and see. Can we collide with our spider? Yes, we can. So if we do it again, does it go and reset? Yes, it does. Now we need to work our way back to the spider to see if we can collide with our spider again. Well, not collide with it, but get affected by it. So yeah, that's fine. And then we should be able to do it again, and then it should go back to the beginning. Okay, so that's fine. That's working nicely. So what do we have left to do in this game? We first need to figure out what a better way of representing our health. We'll probably do that in a health bar, so we can actually see an animation of the health bar reducing by half. Or depending on, we might make it, it's not going to be half, because then it's only we're going to move one or twice. So we'll make it a lot smaller depending on the impact of the attack. And then what else do we need to do? We need to do that. We need to figure out our backgrounds, and then we also need to figure out this box, how we can destroy this crate, so that we can also get some kind of burst into the into the scene. So when we go and break it, which I'm going to go and do now, we're not going to see any coins coming out of it, I don't think, because we haven't really done it properly. But you can see there is a crate here, and we can go and break it, and we collect the coins instantly. But that's because we are colliding with them, but they're all in one place, and that's not all we want. They all been instantiated in the very center of it, which is not what we want. We want them to kind of like burst out of the crate and just go everywhere. So in here they would burst out, probably hit the ceiling, and then just fall down onto the floor somewhere. But we need to figure out how we are going to make them so that those ones are not affected, or are affected by gravity. So they do bounce along the floor because of the gravity pulling them down, but also not let the gravity affect these ones, because we want these ones to be floating in the air. But yeah, that is what we will do in the next episode, probably tomorrow. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button up here, and also watch yesterday's or the previous video if you haven't done so already. But yeah, that's it for today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.